All right, welcome back to Unbreakable. I am sitting outside today because it is such an incredibly beautiful day out, and I felt like this podcast needs to be made for anybody who's young and is in Gen Z or Gen Alpha, right? You're starting high school or you're about to leave high school, whatever it is, and you really just need somebody in your corner to be able to advise you on where you want to go in your career. Now, if you're starting your career, this is what I'm going to recommend. There's never been a greater time to start a business until right now because we have the evolution of AI and we have the ability to, let's just say, basically finesse people with not even typing that much. What is going to push you towards starting your career the right way is simply just deciding what it is that you want. There's something within all of us that makes every single one of us incredibly brilliant, talented, articulate, whatever it is. I know for me, my gift to be able to talk and to be able to articulate and write is my superpower. So that is why I am in marketing because I can articulate my vision and thought process on paper to clients and get stuff sold, right? If you are brilliant in tech, you could potentially make software that helps companies boost their sales or do their marketing or whatever and get that out there, right? And use the backbone of AI to help you do that and leverage AI to do that. You could, and I'm not saying you have to be an entrepreneur, but if you want to go the 9 to 5 route, what I would recommend is if you're in college, you can go party. That's fine. I did that too. I was blackout hammered majority of my college career, but you need to learn how to make connections with people. You know, what's going to get you the job is not by how well you can interview, which is what most people say. Like, you got to hire a bit like a job career coach or whatever. No, you don't need that shit. You need somebody that can get you in the door. Let me tell you something. If the person's respected at the organization you want to work at, that's putting in a reference for you or sticking out their neck for you, trust me, 9 times out of 10, you'll get hired. Everything about resumes and interview prep and all that stuff is like all BS, dude. It really is. You need to have somebody that's already where you want to be able to advocate on your behalf in order to get the job that you want. That's it. That's all it is. Now, if you want to say get into trade school is great. There's a need for the trades right now more than ever. I think the starting salary for anybody going to the trades right now is right about 85,000 if I'm not mistaken. Shit, it could be higher. So if you want to get into the trades, HVAC, plumbing, air conditioning, whatever it is, go into the trades. Trades are super super dope. If you want to say travel for a year, that is one of my biggest regrets is not traveling. um in my very early 20s and late teens. I have been to some of the most beautiful countries in the world. I've been to Hong Kong, I've been to Japan, I've been to Italy, I've been to the Dominican Republic, I've been to Colombia, I've been to Puerto Rico, Bahamas. I've been to a lot of different places in the world. If you want to go travel, get your passport, stamp that shit, find the best way to get it so super cheap, like Airbnb, and take the train, which you can take the train everywhere basically in Europe. Like, do it. Do it because there's no time like the present in order to chase your dreams and go have lived experiences. Like, you legitimately, literally could die tomorrow. So if you want to go travel and your parents don't want you to go travel, let me tell you something. Just save enough money and go work during high school and go save a bunch of money and go travel. Or if you're in college and you're kind of saying to yourself, you're like, holy shit, I hate this. Um, I don't know whether or not I should be here or not. times out of 10 times you should not be studying the thing that you are studying, or inadvertently your nervous system could be telling you that you don't belong at college. Could be that too. Sometimes you're meant to just be somebody that is in the trades or cutting hair or whatever it is that you want to do and starting a business. Like there's no the entire thing that you convince yourself of, like, I need college to be successful, is a bunch of bullshit. It really is. You do, like, college is a business. Like on average, college costs around 150, maybe even more now in the current time that we're in, which is 2026. When I went to college, when I went to college starting in 2017, I literally remember asking myself all the time, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? I hated life, but I loved drinking myself to death. So while getting really shitty grades, I was drinking all the time. College could be a great experience for that too. Trust me, there's a lot of great party schools that if you want to go party, trust me, just go. But if you're going to go party, you might as well go party on a yacht, not living in a dorm room. Just saying. All I'm saying is, listen, pretty girl privilege exists. If you're some hot girl and you want to go party all around the world on some boat with some dude, guess what? Don't go to college. It takes someone decisively to know what they want to do in life to go to college. And guess what? At every stage of your life, it's always going to be different. It's always, what I want now at 26 is not the same what I wanted at freaking 18. At 18, I literally thought I was going to be a doctor. Literally. I literally thought I was going to do the stereotypical Asian thing and go be a doctor and go be an oncologist, which is a cancer doctor if you don't know, and go spend 13 years in college. If I did that, I'd probably be dead by now. Seriously. I would have cried every single day and be like, I absolutely hate my life. And thank God things happened throughout my college career that did not work out. And it made me change courses, and I got into business school. And I graduated with my bachelor's of science in business administration with I've been on the dean's list. I'd be on the dean's list 2 times. And I did graduate with below a 3.0 GPA. So, but to say as well, like, you don't need college though, is what I'm trying to get at. It's like, if you want to go to trade school, you want to go travel, you want to go into the military and go serve our country, which is a beautiful thing too. Thank you so much. Go. College is not the only way to become successful. Like, I know, like, somebody in my own family in high school started a business that should have probably never went to college in the first place. And I think that's a waste of money, honestly. So, and if she had stayed out of college, I think she would have probably been able to scale it much faster than having to focus on academics and getting good grades and keeping her scholarship and doing all the things and not scale the business, which is successful as it is for some kid who's very young. So if you want to go anywhere other than college, please do not allow some asshole to convince you to go to college. It's not necessary, okay? Let's talk about starting with no connections, because this is what happened to me. I was 19 when I came home to New Jersey after I got suspended from college, and I was working for my dad at the time, who owns a business, and I was serving tables at the same time too. And quite frankly, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I just got into the restaurant industry like the rest, and I worked my way up. I worked from a host to takeout to serving tables, which is where the real money is in a restaurant, by the way. And I had a serving job all throughout college, which taught me basic sales. I had customer service interactions. I learned how to make sales. I learned how to upsell. I learned how to communicate. I learned how to understand people's preferences and people's wants and needs and how to, solutionize on the spot, how to think very quickly. So I had a job that was basically focusing on the basics and basic principles of sales. So that's where, moving up in my career, I was living in Florida. I came home to New Jersey. I was serving, but even when I moved to Florida, I still served and bartended, but I wanted to change. So when I was, how old was I? 22, I somehow, shout out to Mediana Spiernik for this, somehow got a job at Saks Fifth Avenue with like no experience. No experience in luxury retail sales. Ladies and gentlemen, not to toot my own horn, but I sold $110,000 in 8 months. So serving tables and bartending and communicating is taught me the fundamentals of luxury sales and selling high ticket items, right? Like a fragrance that costs, half a grand, or a shirt that costs $300, a suit that costs $2,000, right? Things of those natures. So the restaurant is a good place if you want to get into sales and you want to start a business. I definitely just go get a job in the restaurant, and trust me, the service industry is so unstable because of burnout, but it is a great way on learning how to communicate when you don't have somebody teaching you that. So that's my advice for that one. Like if you want to go learn sales, you can either go to a restaurant or you can actually start like a junior account exec at a company that they'll hire you most likely with no base salary. So it's probably going to be all commission, but they'll probably hire you and just give you sales training, which I'd be very careful of because a lot of companies, they should be giving you a base salary. But they'll train you just like in the modalities of like human psychology and stuff like that. So that's one thing. And then I transferred that experience into Saks as well. My time at Saks was interesting because I don't talk a lot about this chapter of my life because not because I'm ashamed of it, but because of the fact that to a degree I felt like I didn't belong. But what happened was is like the more I kept being at my counter, learned more about how to run a business and how to manage inventory, which I already had experience with my father managing his business as well, but also it also taught me how to talk to the 1% as well. I had people's black cards on my phone. So when we discuss the higher echelon of people, we talk to them in a very different way. Like what matters to people that are not where you want to be is completely different than where you want to be, and people are talking to, you know, other people at the top. Okay. And the biggest difference is like when you have no connections, you have to understand what incentivizes people. Let me tell you something about people at the top. They do not care about your ability to help them and agree with them all the time. They want someone who's honest enough to be able to address a problem, but in a polite way and not agree with them. It's a fact. I'm not making up, sweetie. I'm not making up rules here. Okay, it's a fact. They want brutal honesty in a world where they're constantly having somebody blow smoke up their ass. That's a fact. Like, you want to go talk to rich people? Be honest with them. It's a fact. Like, talk about the family, talk about what motivates them to be productive individuals, what keeps them grounded. Like, I know for me, what keeps me grounded is God. So those things people at the top talk about. They don't talk about going out on the weekends. They talk about what the next money move is, what they're gonna make, and their family, and what makes them happy, and what's going on with their lives. That, you know, people, that's literally what people talk about at the top. Like, I've seen it even in my own, like, friend group. Like, the way I talk to my friends that are not entrepreneurs versus the way I talk to my friends that are entrepreneurs is night and day difference. Not because of the fact that one group is better than the other. No, each group serves its purpose, and I know that. It's not because I think I'm holier than them. No, it's because everybody has limitations on their vision of where they want to go in life. But if you want to get to the side of honestly being around high rolling individuals like ballers, guess what? That requires you to understand their level of psychology. So when you're talking to them, talk about things that matter, right? Like life, psychology, philosophy, what they believe in, their families, where they want to live, where they want to retire. Talk about the future, talk about options, talk about stocks, talk about the market, how to invest. Those things are actually, that's what everybody at the top talks about. By the way, I've had beautiful clients of mine that I don't have anymore. And I probably, if I wanted to text them, probably I could right now. But, and I have their contact info on my phone. But still, like, if I wanted to go back to Saks and I wanted to give an entire seminar on this, I could, because this is exactly how people think. Okay, that are at the top. They want to talk about the beautiful aspects of building a business, which is really hard. They want to be able to relate to people that have been through similar struggles, and you don't know what they've been through if you are not either doing it yourself currently or you've been through it yourself. So when you talk to people that are of the upper echelon, it seriously requires you to have a mentality that people want to grow, they just don't know how. And there's a difference between people that say they want to grow, that are not at the top, that are at the middle level, in between, that is, they're their own worst enemy here. And then there's actually people up here that are at the top. Okay. And whatever, the top is subjective, by the way, and I'll get to that. But there are people here, okay, and there are people here. These people say they want to be up here, but they don't belong yet because they can't get out of their own way. Okay, they don't know how. These people were these people down here, but these people ascended basically because they figured it out through people that they were connected with how to actually get there. Those people are just waiting. I don't even think they're waiting per se. I think they're negligent. These people. These people are negligent to how to get up here. They think they're here. They're not. They're here. That's a fact. And then you have everybody down here, which is average. And then you have people that are at the top. Then you've got billionaire class, which is way up here. Okay? But if you can make it somehow up here from here versus here, trust me, you're on the right path. And that's simply by charisma, attitude, mindset, and the way you view life. Boys and girls, if you view your life as, woe was me, I'm a victim, and everybody should feel sorry for me, you're down here. Because I was down here, but I knew I belonged up here. I didn't know how to get from down here to up here. But it's simply a mindset shift. And I started my mindset work not when I became an entrepreneur, But because of the fact that I started it from Instagram when I was 19 and I got suspended and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing with my life, quite frankly. And I thought going to business school is going to solve everything. And it didn't. Okay. So you want connections? Mindset shift, attitude, go to the gym, but hustle your ass off. Go talk to people. You want to, and how do you get connections? Great question. You go sit somewhere where a bunch of rich people are sitting. It's the fastest way to do it. And you say something slick and intelligent. You know what slick and intelligent is yet? I'll give you a prime example. Talk about Tesla stock. What's going on with Elon? What's going on with the administration that you don't like? Because there's a lot of people that don't like this current administration, myself included. Or go talk about, you know what? I really believe in God and Jesus because of this. Or I believe in this denomination over this denomination because of this. That's how you capture people's attention. Seriously. It doesn't take rocket science for somebody to really believe in you in your early career. And I realized, even having my own mentors that are of this echelon, that when I do talk to them about where I want to be in life, I talk to them not because of money, because money has nothing to do with being up here, by the way. It doesn't. Where I want to be at the top is I want to have a family. I want to own a couple homes, but I want to be able to travel for work, and I want to build businesses that mean something, and I leave an incredible impact on the world. And I want to be somebody that is viewed for creatively being able to articulate her thoughts and be able to defend what she believes in. That's how I want to be viewed. And that's how people at the top think. And once you start articulating that and starts resonating with people that are up here, then you get some power. Just saying. But once you, and this brings me to the third point of this conversation. Once you get here, people here that are older than you, it's called covert jealousy. It's not obvious, it's subtle. Guess what? This shit really does exist. These people don't want you here because they haven't figured out from here how to get here. Okay? They have not figured out what people up here did well enough to escape here. This is the 90% of the generalized population. You've got 5% down here, okay, which is right here below my chair where I'm sitting outside. And then you have the people up here that are the 5% of the wealthiest people of the world. Okay? Everyone else here can't get here somehow. There's a disconnect. And once you start getting here, people here get pissed. Why though? Because they're now going to question how the hell you got there. And if you're a girl, I'm sorry to say this, some people might ask you if you slept your way to the top, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. There should be no type of sexual interaction in order to get yourself into rooms that you've been praying for since you were a little girl or a little boy in somebody's instance. A little boy, listen, my guy, you should not be trying to sleep with any female at the top to get yourself there. That is not the right way to do this. Okay? Be courageous enough and secure enough in your belief system in order to get here. Smart enough to get here. Because I know it's in all of you. Okay? The jealousy that's going to come is people telling you things like this. Number one, that you're not good enough. Number two, they're going to tell you you're useless. Number three, they're going to tell you that you don't know what you're talking about. No one's going to believe you. Number four, that you ain't special. You're no one. I want you, if you're watching this, to go stay in a mirror somewhere or pull up the camera on your iPhone or cell phone, whatever. And I actually really want you to tell yourself that I am someone because you are. The 90% of people don't want to see you do well. They just don't because they haven't broken out to the 5% up top. That's all it is. It's a pyramid. And if that's coming from your family, your colleagues at work, who you have already around you, if that's coming from your boys, that's coming from your girls, right? If you're a guy or a girl, whatever. If it's coming from that, you need to sit yourself down as a young adult and really analyze who you are and ask yourself whether or not that's true or not. Because I personally believed for a very long time that I was trash. I won't sit here and say I didn't because I did. And I think what broke me out of being at the 90% of people was opening my mouth about things that I really believed in. I'm trying not to cry at this portion because everybody told me that my opinion wouldn't be worth anything at all. And your opinion's worth something. And you need to have an opinion in order to get noticed. Because the people that don't have an opinion that sway in order to get the attention are not respected by people that are up here. Okay? They're not. That's it. If you sway and you cater to this portion of people, they don't respect you. You know what they respect is when you have a freaking backbone. That's what they respect. And they're more inclined to introduce you to other people with a spine, by the way, because they know that you're someone solid. You broke through the matrix of everybody else trying to be impressive when no one knows actually what in the fuck they're actually doing. Seriously. Okay? So when I talk about that alone, be opinionated. If you believe in God and someone asks you whether or not uh you're Jewish or you're Christian or you're Muslim, whatever it is that you believe in, myself, if someone comes along and asks me if I believe in Jesus, I'm going to say, absolutely, I do. Oh, you shouldn't. You shouldn't have an opinion about religion. I'm like, that's not for you to decide. That's for me to decide. Thank you very much. That's all you have to say. That's polite. That's polite. That's not, oh, I think I'm better than you. Absolutely not. It has everything to do with, like, I'm going to stick to my morals. And if you don't agree, you're entitled to your opinion, but that doesn't mean that I have to listen to you. Okay? So the opinions of other people that are here don't match the ones up here. I have never fucking met somebody up here that has told me I'm dumb. Not one. And everybody that's here in the middle has tried to keep me down so they get noticed by these people when I am not a part of this anymore. I am up here. So I'm telling you with somebody that with experience, as someone who knows people that charge $50,000 to work with them, I am telling you that people up here are noticing you solely based off what you believe in. And that works. So be strong and convicted in what you believe in because people notice that shit. They're looking to see whether you're going to bend. Don't. Because these people down here do. Okay? These people up here love strong people that are firm, that have been through some shit, and that did it. And you know what? Most times, and of course, there's bad apples up here too. But 9 times out of 10, when you realize that are really strong up here because they're disciplined, they're structured, they're organized, and they believe in what they believe in, and they don't sway in their opinion, guess what? Just because you're not here yet doesn't mean in 5 years you won't be there. Okay. So that's why everyone at the 90% doesn't make sense to me anymore. And I surpassed that thanks to a brilliant, brilliant coach that I know, um, who is inside my inner circle that I talk to quite frequently. And he taught me about myself that I need to see in order to get over that hurdle of the 90% of people when I belong at the 5%. Okay. And that's why I say it like that. Not to put people down at the 90%, but people that are at the 90% will take you down because they're waiting for their opportunity. Like I said, they're waiting for people to notice them when they're just average. This is extraordinary up here. And once you realize your God-given gifts and you're firm in what you believe in, trust me, people want to take you up here with them. That level of exposure, people are not stupid up here. They see everything. They don't want to associate themselves with here. Okay. I wrote down how to grow faster when attract the right people to sell to. If I look at my journey and how I did it, I would say it's a multiple facet of things. I would say that I think personality and charisma has something widely to do with it, but I would also go as far to say is I'm smart. And I really love educating myself on things that are important to me, like Christianity and the original origins of Christianity and how it started, especially with Jesus' life and what he taught, right? Like I really, really do read my Bible. So I am very well aware of spirituality and where it stems from. And then on top of it, I love politics. I am I don't know. I don't like what the Republican Party has turned into since I became a registered voter. Um, but I am conservative. Okay. I certainly do not believe in abortion, and I don't believe in I don't believe in IVF, even though there's a staggering amount of evidence to need IVF, although it goes against my religion. Um, I don't believe in to be honest, I don't believe in sex before marriage, even though I am not a virgin. So, and I'll make another podcast about how I became um Christian and my journey with Christianity, but I don't believe in that. I don't I believe in treating others the way I want to be treated. I believe in giving more than I receive. I believe in supporting others when they are on their own independent journey. Like a lot of my friends are very musically inclined, so if they want me to listen to something, I do. I believe in being there when people need me and being present. I believe in being able to share your opinion when it matters and standing up for what you believe in when your rights are being threatened every day. I believe in starting businesses that mean something and add value to the marketplace when there's a lot of lines that are blurred. I believe in being someone of value. Okay. So those things, when I've gotten very firm in those things, trust me, that expedited my growth. And it wasn't like the person that you see on camera today isn't somebody that how do I say this? I am not the same person I was at 19 that I am at 26. Far from it. I I am a more healed, better version of the younger girl that was starting out. And when I look at the journey that I embarked on alone, it was hard because I inadvertently realized that my dad and my stepmom were at the 90% and I was not. Not money wise. I mean, everyone's broke in their fucking 20s. Like, if you're broke, don't worry about it. Like, it's okay. Everyone's fucking broke right now. If you're in credit card debt, great. Welcome to the club. Okay. If you're not financially secure, welcome to the club. Okay. You do not need to be exactly where everyone else is telling you to be in your 20s. Okay. So the 90% of people will try to delay your growth. They do. They because like I said, covert jealousy fucking sucks. It is the worst thing that people could do to you is be inadvertently very jealous of you when they see the beautifulness and the greatness within you, right? Like I see in a lot of people, but try to make somebody hide that and not show the rest of the world their excellence. And I hope that when you're on your journey of this, that when you are growing, you always look introspectively and you see the person who you are becoming, where you started, and the person that is in the middle. Because where you started and where you are right now versus where you want to be is not the same person. Okay. And the person that is in your journey, that you're on the journey to, is beautiful. It's a beautiful person that you're flowering into. I think as I come up on my 27th birthday, I look at my life and what I've done correctly. I've healed the generations of trauma that no one else is healed from. And is it perfect? No, far from it. And I'm okay with that. But I have healed a lot of it on my own. And or I think what really helped me grow was church, at least in the last year, is finding Jesus and getting super serious about what you believe in as far as spirituality is concerned. Um, really solidified my opinion and helped me understand the growth that I think I was missing for a very long time. Um, and if you can emulate this on camera when you're making content and you're starting your business and you're excited and everything's like brand new and fresh before, you get out of La La Land and then you realize how fucking hard it is. When you learn how to grow at that level, the right people will always find you. I'm so sure of it. I believe in that wholeheartedly because I think a lot of people, we tell ourselves that we can't get up there. And the whole reason why I made this episode was because I had like an external body experience with, like I said, a coach, and he literally told me, you're blocking your blessings because you're the problem. Trust me, that was not fun to hear, and really just made me think about where I'm going and who I'm selling to. And I realized I'm like, I don't need to be down here anymore. Hell, I'm not even here. I'm up here. I think it's a really hard thing to realize because sometimes you can't see yourself and what everybody else sees in you. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm still trying to understand what everybody sees in me shit. Everybody's been saying, like, since I was 16, being like, yo, like, this girl is going to be somebody someday. And I'm saying to myself, like, are you kidding me? I'm from Jackson, New Jersey. Like, Who am I? No, I'm somebody. And I heard it from Gary Vee the best. If you don't know who that is, go look him up. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk, but he goes by Gary Vee for short. Gary Vee was talking to this woman and said, you are somebody already. Start acting like it. Just because you're not up here yet doesn't mean you might even be here. You might even be here. And when you ascend that ladder, and when you finally realize the the beauty in all of it, of what you've had to go through, and it makes so much sense to you, just like it's like the wheels turn finally, I think, again. But you look at yourself again and you're like, I have done so much work on myself to get here. And to deserve to sit at that table at the top. Okay. And it's only a matter of time till people find you. And I would say for any young entrepreneur right now that's struggling, that is wondering whether or not it's worth it all, trust me, it so is. It so is. Because this part of this year, this is about to be the greatest chapter of my fucking life. Because for 9 months I hid. So I think I learned all the lessons that I needed to. Just because you don't have something now does not mean it's not going to happen for you in your career, in your personal life, in your dreams, or when you're praying to God at night, or you're praying to him in the morning, whoever you believe in. Just because you don't have something now does not mean you're not going to have it. And if I'm being very honest, this podcast is a way that I healed myself, because basically all these episodes are memoirs to my younger self. So if you're debating, and if you had a really fucked up childhood like I did, guess what? There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't start a podcast, or start that business, or go get a sales job, or go start at a restaurant. You gotta start somewhere. Just because it's not at the top immediately doesn't mean you won't get there. It takes time. But some of you are already up here, but your belief system has broken you down to think that you're down here, which you're not. You're not. You're incredible. You're probably up here still. You got to do a lot of the work on yourself to believe that you belong here. You see what I'm saying? So I hope this resonated with all of you. I know this is all over the place. And I just want to let everybody understand something. Like, all of you are amazing. Really. Please don't believe the lies that everybody tells you about yourself. And I want you guys to really sit yourselves down and be like, who am I and where am I going? And think about the things that you want out of this world. Until next time.